Hello, friends. This is July of 2025, and thought I'd share with you my vision story, my eyesight experiences. Yeah, so I was born in 1964. I'm 61 years old, and when I was about 5 years old, give or take a year or so, I was put in the public school and the kindergarten, and I was nervous, I'm sure. I felt abandoned by my parents in a strange new place. And I think my teacher recognized that I wasn't seeing the blackboard that clear and suggests maybe send a note home to my parents that I should go visit the eye doctor. So they took me, and I was, nervous as the eye doctor went through his things, and he way overprescribed me. He gave me really, really thick Coke bottle thick lenses, about a half-inch thick, minus 11 diopters, and so that made me pretty blind, actually. And my parents, they enforced me wearing glasses from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed. They wanted me to wear glasses. My dad wore glasses, my mom wore glasses, and I was the oldest of five kids. Actually, all five of us wore glasses, and so I got glasses about the time I went to school, and I wore them for 33 years. 33 years I wore them, and I always wanted to be free from them. I looked at surgeries early on. They had ALK, they had radiokeratotomy, then they came out with LASIK surgeries, and now they got implantable contact lenses that is potentially reversible. So they got different ways to fix the vision, but it's kind of like wearing glasses just on the inside instead of the outside. And all of those things can regress back to vision blurriness anyway. I've known several people that had the LASIK surgery, and a few years later they're back wearing glasses again. So I decided not to go that route. I read online about the side effects, light halos and dry eye syndrome and a lot of problems. So I decided not to go that route. Actually, I did go to an eye doctor in Tennessee doing LASIK surgery, and she put eye drops in my eyes, never warned me anything. And these are dilating eye drops. They made my pupils dilate almost as big as my iris, like 10 millimeter. Anyway, and so she looked into my eyes and said I'm a perfect candidate for like 2015 vision. Schedule my appointment. And it was like $1,500, I think, for a pair of eyes. But you know what? As I left the doctor's office and I opened up the door and walked out into that bright sunlight in the parking lot, it was a miracle I even found the car. I mean, she never warned me to have somebody drive me home or that I would have a problem with these dilating eye drops. And so I did make it to my car, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and my eyes, the black pupil was dilated all the way. I couldn't even hardly see my brown eye. It was just a black pupil. And I could hardly see. And I stayed in the car for several minutes trying to recover myself. And I looked in the glove box and I found a pair of sunglasses, which saved me. And so I put those sunglasses on and somehow I was able to make it home. Do you think I called back to schedule an appointment for eye surgery from that doctor? No way. That was a slap in the face, wake-up call. That was just a warning signal for me. Now, some people are happy with the results in LASIK, and I'm glad for them. But for myself, I chose not to, and I know there's many people that regretted it. So I decided, actually, the internet came out, and let's say I was about 38 or 38 years old, and I began finding books in the library about take off your glasses and see, about vision recovery. And there was an eye doctor at the turn of the century in the 1900s, like 1920 to 1930. He put out a series of magazines. His name was Dr. William Horatio Bates, Dr. Bates. And his magazines, he's got a book, Perfect Eyesight Without Glasses, or anyways, he was an ophthalmologist, and he did work on animals like turtles and monkeys and fish, and he studied the human eye, the Helmholtz theory, and he found out that the vision changes not only by the intraocular lens, but also by the extraocular muscles surrounding the eye, that these muscles can reshape the eyeball and make it farsighted, nearsighted, normal vision, or anything in between. Astigmatism, all those things are refractory errors caused from the eyeball being squeezed out of place in the wrong ways. But he said the solution and the cure for all these refractory errors is relaxation. And once the mind is relaxed, then the eyes are relaxed, because the eyes follow the mind. And so the mind is the cause of all the refractory errors, because the mind is focused improperly. And so it's all about getting the mind free from strain and being able to focus properly with the mind, and the eyes automatically follow and see perfectly clear. And that's the theory of it, and it does work when the situation is correct. And but the problem is finding that situation. Now, there's what they call favorable conditions, where in some situations you see very clear, perfectly clear, or very clear. In other situations you just see very blurry, depending on what is provoking you to stress and tense up, or you feel relaxed and comfortable. And so that's kind of the theory behind it. And in school we'd play dodgeball. That was my favorite game, called Man of War. And we'd split up into two teams in a gymnasium. We'd have these red-colored dodgeballs, and we'd throw them at each other, sometimes as hard as we could, to hit the other player. And if you hit that player, he'd have to go out. And then the game continued till there was only one team left. And but if you catch the ball, the person that threw it goes out. But if he hits you anywhere on your body, then you have to go out. So you would dodge, jump, try to catch the ball or try to dodge it. And it was a lot of fun, but sometimes that ball hit me right in the face. And many times my glasses got broke. And my parents had to take me back to the eye doctor and get a new pair of glasses. And almost always they overprescribed me thick lenses. And man, I hated to wear them. I really did. But my parents forced me to wear them. You have to wear them. They're expensive. You have to wear them. And so it destroyed my eyesight, wearing glasses for 33 years. And now I took my glasses off about 24 years ago. And my vision has improved quite a bit. I'm very comfortable without them. But I still don't see perfectly clear all the time. But I do get flashes of clear vision every day. And sometimes I see very clearly for several seconds at a time. And so I work with different techniques to enhance and improve my eyesight. There's the Brock string, B-R-O-C-K, where you take a string with some colored beads on it, 3 or 4 beads or so, and you tie it to a doorknob, like, for example, and hold it up to your nose, and you look at those beads. The first one, the second one, the third one, up to the door, and you're supposed to see like an X where the strings cross where the bead is, and you follow that all the way down and all the way back up, and it helps your eyes to divert, they call that divergence. And then converge or convergence, as they come back together. Your eyes come back together, and then they open up and go into the distance, like that. And the object is, whatever you're seeing, whatever your mind is focusing on, is what you're supposed to be seeing at the same time. And that's a perfect vision. When you can focus your mind and see the same point at the same time with both eyes, you can. That's eye tracking, and you can see perfectly clear that way if you can master that. Well, I've been working on it for a while now, and I haven't mastered it yet, but I've made a lot of improvements. So I don't give up easy. I've spent a lot of money on different vision eye programs, but I'll tell you from experience, you can get most of the stuff for free on the internet. Just read Dr. Bates' book, Perfect Eyesight Without Glasses. Just read Dr. Bates' magazines, Better Eyesight Without Glasses, or Better Eyesight magazines, I think they're called. BATES, Dr. Bates, Vision Improvement. And there's a wealth of information on the internet. Lots of websites, lots of blogs, lots of videos on YouTube about it. Nathan Oxenfield, he has a lot of good stuff. I tell you, the best Dr. Bates teacher I've ever, out of all the many Bates teachers I've studied their information, the one that's the very best is Gloria Ginn. Her last name is Ginn, Gloria Ginn. And she's expensive. She sells lots of products, books. She has online classes that you can join. She has personal consultations. You can do a Zoom consultation with her, and she is the best Dr. Bates teacher that I've ever met. She's very knowledgeable, and she's had a lot of success with a lot of people, but her products are, you have to pay for them. And she's got some books on Kindle, 3 or 4 of them, and they're about $10 a piece. And I bought those. And then I did join her online classes some, and I've talked to her, on the Zoom meetings. And she gave me some good advice to help me in my vision journey. And let's see. So I've practiced with meditation, breath work, guided meditations, things like that to help improve my relaxation. Relax to a very deep level, open up my eyes slowly, and take in my surroundings. I try to look at like a blank surface, maybe a concrete driveway or a concrete wall, for example, or a painted wall, like an all white or all peach colored paint wall, and let my eyes just open up wide on a blank surface, and then slowly look at something that causes me to focus in, like an eye chart or some object, And so I go back and forth practicing like that to open up my eyes more and to see more detail and see more clearly. And I try to retain that relaxed state as long as I can before I, go back to mentally straining again. And so it's an ongoing process for me. So it's all about the mental focus. Audio books is helpful. Close your eyes. There's things you can do like palming, where you cover your eyes with the palms of your hands, and you just relax as deeply as you can. You let yourself see black or whatever you see. Just relax is the main thing. You can do mental pictures, mental videos, mental movies, and try to think of pleasant things, relaxing things, things that make you feel good. And I like to meditate on the Bible, meditate on God and Bible truth a lot, and so on like that. And sometimes you have whatever thoughts, come to you, And so one of the key things is, blinking. You need to be blinking frequently to moisten them and keep the eyes moving. Movement is one of the most important things for your eyes. The thing that causes eye problems the most is staring, just freezing your eyes up like a stone. That's the worst thing for your eyes. It's just putting your eyes in park and just staring. That destroys your eyesight more than anything else. The number one cure for eyesight issues and blurriness is what Dr. Bates described as dodging. Like dodgeball, you're always moving. Your eyes are always moving. The eyes are only at rest when they're constantly moving. And the way he described it is when you move your eyes to the left, objects in your vision appear to move to the right. When you move your eyes to the right, objects move to the left. It's oppositional movement. When you look up, things go down. When you look down, things go up. And notice that movement. When you're walking down a hallway, notice the walls of the hallway going past you. That's peripheral vision, seeing in the peripheral vision. Notice the motion and movement in your peripheral vision. That helps to open up your eyesight and to see more clear. Because you see clearest and best right in the center of your vision. Your nose is pointed. And when your eyes come together, that's usually your best vision right in the center. And everything outside of that is a little bit more blurry, a little bit less clear. And so you're constantly moving your eyes around. You don't stay fixed. You don't stare. You're constantly moving every fraction of a second. You're moving your eyes from point to point. If you're looking at an apple, you might look at the core. You might look at the round shape. You might look at little specks and pieces on the apple. And so you're constantly seeing a clear apple, but you're seeing one part of it clear, you're focusing on one little part of that apple at a time. That's an example of, how properly to see. If you're looking at his chair, you might look at the chair leg, then the back of the chair, and then the seat of the chair, and your eyes are constantly going from point to point. And you're taking in the whole peripheral view. You're seeing everything, but your focus is on one tiny little speck. The smaller you can see clearly at any point, the clearer your vision's going to be. That's called central fixation. Centralizing on that center point, and everything else is in the periphery. And as long as your eyes are constantly moving and they're relaxed and at ease, the vision opens up more and you can see more clearly. It's the hardest thing to practice doing nothing. Just to spend quality time focusing on your mind and your eyesight. That's been very difficult for me because I've been a worker, work, and it's hard for me to just take a break, step back, and just do nothing else but just let myself look around and see stuff, gazing, eye gazing, looking at different things and allowing myself to process visual information. But that's where I get a lot of my clearest flashes, is just taking quality time to not do anything else but to just notice whatever I'm seeing in the distance. And I like to look at nature. Nature's relaxing to me. I look up at the sky, see a bird flying, look into the jungle, the bushes, the trees and grass. Sometimes I can see creatures, a cat or a dog, a lizard, ants, and all these things are visually stimulating and help to awaken the vision. Spending out time outdoors is very important. Sunning, what they call sunning. You can look up at the sky and see the bright sunlight, and what you want to do is close your eyes when you're looking at a bright sunlight, especially in the middle of the day. Early morning or in the evening is the best times. But anytime, if it's too bright, just close your eyes and you can just swing your head back and forth slowly. Feel your eyes move from side to side. Your eyes will move as you turn your head. And let that sunlight just soak in with your eyes closed. It's very healing, very relaxing. You take a break from that and you open up, and almost instantly you notice improved vision. Almost every time your vision's better when you do sunning. And so I use that a lot. Sometimes I do palming. Sometimes I just close my eyes, meditate, think about something relaxing. And those things always are helpful to relax into myself, become more settled in my mind, and open up and see more clearly. See, I got the habits of straining hard with my mind, and that's what keeps me in the blur most of the time. A mind that's strained. So it's been the hardest habit to break for me. It was easier to quit cigarettes. It was easier to quit alcohol. It was easier to quit immorality and other bad habits. But stopping the mental strain has been the work. Well, I've been working on it for about 24 years, and I still struggle with it. And so I'm always looking for ways to clear my vision, relieve the strain. And it's like one of these days, one of these days I'll just be seeing clear all the time continuously, and I'll forget what it was like to see blurry. And maybe that'll be tomorrow, maybe later today. I hope, So God has been good to me and answered my prayers so many ways. But the vision thing is just an ongoing process for me. And it's kind of like a flower during the night. The petals are all closed up tight like a rose, But in the early morning hours, sunrise, as the sun opens up, those flower petals begin to open up. And in the middle of the day, when the heat's coming down, the sun's fully out, those flower petals really open up. And you can see the center stem, bright and colorful and beautiful inside that flower. And it has such a nice aroma, such a nice smell. And this is our eyesight opening up to see everything clearly, as we're fully relaxed from the inside out. And there's no filters, there's no barriers. That mental eye strain is relieved. Another thing that helps me is to see in three dimensions, 3D vision. And one thing that's really helpful is to find yourself in situations where, like a corner of a house, or where there's a fence, a corner of a fence, for example, and you're forced to look at things in three dimensions. You got one eye seeing here and one eye seeing here, and together you get 3D vision, depth perception, shadows. And that really helps to stimulate and open up the eyes. So I like to practice a lot with 3D vision, putting my gentle walking around in environments that provoke that three-dimensional seeing. Trees and bushes, branches, things like that. It really helps to open up the vision and break up that circle of strain that the mind is constantly focusing too hard, straining hard to see. It's an unconscious habit. And you just have to come out of that hypnotic blindness, bad habit syndrome, and awaken up to reality, to come out of the dream state into reality, and just see things as they really are. Perfectly clear. The colors are vibrant, depth perception, and it's a beautiful experience. Swaying back and forth can be helpful. Getting in front of a window, looking outside and swaying back and forth in front of that window, seeing the motion and movement of oppositional movement can be really helpful to open up the eyes, the mind, and just start seeing perfectly clear. You can, if you move your head back and forth with your finger fixed, you can see that finger moving back and forth. You can take your You can go like that and look out into the distance in your finger and see everything moving in an oppositional movement. They have what they call swinging, where you're just swinging back and forth. All these things help to open up the eyesight to see clearer. And just to make it a habit of always seeing things in motion, like you're underwater and you see the seaweed constantly moving back and forth in the waves of the sea and the fish swimming along. And it's just everything's like in motion. And that helps to open up the eyesight to see things perfectly clearly. And if you can just maintain that all day long until it becomes your natural state of being, people don't notice when you have these slight, subtle movements. They don't know if you do it in a very subtle way, they don't even know you're practicing vision improvement, because it just seems so, look at people that see clearly, that don't have to wear glasses, that they have really good vision. Watch their vision habits. They blink, they move around, and it's very subtle. And they maintain that mental focus, and they just see clearly. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you, and may God bless you in your vision journey. Oh, one other thing. I really wanted to get free of glasses. I took my glasses off back in 2001, and that was when I really took them off, like when I got converted, when I got baptized, so to speak, when I got saved, so to speak. I took off my glasses in 2001, and I didn't want to wear them anymore, but I had to wear them certain times, emergencies, And so I took them off. I was in Keokuk, Iowa, and we had a little house on the block there, and we had a nice park, a relaxed nature park, just a block and a half up the road from where we lived. Excuse me. So I took off my glasses in the early morning hours, put them in my shirt pocket just in case I needed them, because I was going on a test. I had read some inspirational experiences of other people that took their glasses off and how they got their vision coming back. So I thought to take that step. And that's a hard first step, especially if you're used to wearing them from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. To go without your glasses is suicide. It's insanity. It's crazy. There's no way I can do that, I'm going to get run over by a car. I'm going to fall into a ditch. I'm going to, I'm going to bump into a tree, You have this fear. So I took off my glasses and I put them in my shirt pocket real close in case I need to whip them out and put them on, And this is how frightened I was when I first took them off and tried to do an experiment. And so I went out of the house, closed the door, go down the steps, going down the sidewalk. And I get to the curb of the road, and I pause, and I look this way, and I look this way. I didn't see any car coming. I jog across the road, to the park. And I think, whew, I can relax a little bit. At least I'm in the park. So I walk through the park, and it feels relaxing in the park, and I get an occasional flash of clearer vision, and I looked down at the sidewalk and I was shocked. I could see the sidewalk almost perfectly clear. I could see those little indentations, little pebbles, and I could just see the sidewalk so clear, and it felt so good. Wow, I can see so clear without my glasses. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. How is this possible? How can I make this all the time, my experience every day, all the time, from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, seeing clear? Well, I'm still working on that, but I do see a lot clearer than I ever used to, and I do have flashes of clear vision every day. And I can induce clear vision just by relaxing and taking a few moments to kind of look around, get moving a bit, and suddenly things start coming in clear, So I can induce it. And I haven't yet made it my default habit yet. But one of these days, right? So I wanted to tell you about that. And I just did it little by little. I started driving without glasses. And of course, you have to be careful about the legal issues of it, and all that. And so what I do is I'd get those necklace things you can hook to the back of your earpieces on your glass. I used to get really deep ridges here and behind my ears, painful and sore, almost bloody at times, just really pain. And I'd get tension headaches from wearing glasses, And it was just such a relief. And I'd get pain in my nose, the bridge of my nose would get so red and painful. And it was such a relief to take those glasses off. And I found out when I stopped wearing glasses, I was more myself. I was more open and free. I could start talking freely to people. And I felt so comfortable. And I felt so comfortable talking with people. Before, I was just like so frozen and scared and hard to talk to anybody, so shy. When I took those glasses off, it was like a whole new world, like walking into a different world. And I could just freely talk to people. And my job interviews went so much better because I had that freedom to just think and speak on my own without being caged up, and narrow. But anyway, it really helped me a lot. And so I got to where I would take my glasses off and put them in a shirt pocket or put them on my necklace around the ear pieces and just set them down on my chest, driving down the road. during the day in familiar places, I did just perfect. But at night, it was really scary. My vision is quite a bit blurrier at night. Even if you have perfect vision, you don't see quite as good during the night as you do during the day. That's just how it is. And so nighttime was really scary for me, especially unfamiliar places. If I had to, that's where the emergency situations come in, where you just have to wear your glasses to get from this point to that point safely. I always wanted to be safe. There was times in my job, I lost a job or two over my glasses because my boss told me, if you don't wear your glasses, you can't stay working here. So there's a couple jobs I lost over wearing glasses. And I told him I was working on improving my vision, but that wasn't acceptable, And so I learned how to cheat. I learned how to bend the rules, bend the rules, break the rules. Oh, man, my last job I retired from, I worked there for 7 years. And there was twice I was mandated to go to the eye doctor and get a prescription for my eyes by the director of nurses, I was working at the hospital. I can say stuff now that I didn't feel comfortable talking about before because I'm retired now. So anyway, so I did that. I got my prescription, and, they asked me what website or online was I using to clear my vision. I didn't give them any specifics. And they mandated I wear my glasses. So what I did is I had earpieces, with a necklace, and I just set them on my chest. And I always had my glasses with me. And they said, you need your glasses. I said, I can see this insulin vial really good because I can see close up really clear, so I could draw insulin, draw out my medicines, do my pills, do my documentation on the computer. I was a little closer than normal on the computer, but I could get by with it. And so that's how I did. And but one thing I had to wear, there was emergencies in nursing where I just had to wear my glasses. And one of those times was inserting a Foley catheter. It's a tube, a rubber tube inside a female urethra into her bladder so that the pee would come out of the tube into a bag. And so to do that, you don't want your face too close to what you're doing. So I wore my glasses when I had to insert a Foley catheter into a female, bladder. And so we do what we got to do. And but anyway, the Lord blessed me. I always prayed about it. There was a couple close calls. I thought I might lose my job, and I just kept praying about it. And the Lord would give me a comfort and an encouragement. I just kept going forward and doing what I needed to do. And I was able to, when I went to take the driver's test, I had my glasses with me. And I'd put them on and pass the driver's test with my glasses, And anyway, that's how I got by. And people were shocked and amazed. I had one eye doctor, when I had to go to see the eye doctor, my boss told me I had to go see the eye doctor. I walked in there without glasses on. He sat me down, he checked my vision, and he said, well, what glasses do you have? So I pulled them out and he checked the glasses and he said, well, these are the correct, prescription. Now, normally my vision was minus 11 diopters all my life. But in the last few years, it went down to minus 9 diopters. And that's the glasses I had was a minus 9. He said, these glasses are the right prescription for you. It used to be 11. Now it dropped 2 diopters. Now it's 9 diopters. And that was several years ago. I don't know what it is now. Maybe it's a 7 or 8. I don't know. And so, and then he looked at, and when we were done with the exam, I put my glasses in my shirt pocket. He said, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to go out there and drive. He says, really? I said, it's okay. I'm going to put on my glasses to drive. He says, oh, okay. And he was just so shocked. How can you get around without your glasses? This is a very high prescription. This is legally blind. How can you go places and walk around and feel comfortable without your glasses? I said, well, I practice. I do it all the time. I tell them, don't worry, though. I wear them when I drive. That's the legal thing, you got to do. And so that's what I've done. And the last 24 years, I've been without glasses all the time. And right now, I think I have one pair of glasses. It's a minus 6 diopter. That's the best that I could find on Shopee here in the Philippines. If I really want one that gives me perfect vision, I'd have to go to the eye doctor and get a higher prescription, which I haven't done. And but I just thought I'd share my vision story with you. I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to be free of glasses, contact lenses, and crutches for the eyes. and they would like to be free of their eye crutches and just have that open face, open view to see the world, to see people, to interact. It's been such a blessing to me. To me, I felt like it was a curse to be forced to wear glasses for years and years, every day, all day long. And now I have that freedom. I feel that openness. I feel that blessing of being able to go through life without glasses. And I'm loving every moment of it. I just wish my vision was perfect all the time. But one of these days, right? Okay, thanks, friends. God bless you. Thanks.